Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Coffee here, and today we're doing our whip and chat. Whip stands for work in progress, so get out whatever that is for you. Work along with me as I tell you some stories from the coffee house shenanigans. Now, I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. I know we did here at the coffee house, and we're going to talk all about it. First things first, how you doing? How's life treating you right now? I know a lot of people are getting sick right now because of this weather change. Y'all, I told y'all that I knew something was coming because it was getting so warm here in North Dakota. We are in blizzard warning. You ever lived in a place that you get a blizzard warning? Let me explain. Blizzard warning means you're about to get some hella snow. So stock up on food because you might get snowed in your house. But that doesn't mean that anything stops around here, which is the weird part to me because I'm so used to PA and where when you got a little bit of snow, they would shut down everything. And though I haven't lived in PA in like 5 years, I still assume that when it snows here, that they're going to shut down the school or like these small little businesses that don't need to be open. But no, you would think it's a sunny day here in North Dakota. You would not think that there's already a foot of snow on the ground and that people are still at work like there's not a foot of snow on the ground. They don't care. You think my children aren't at school? They very much are. Because the schools here don't close unless it's negative 50 degrees. That's it. That's it. There's only been one day in 5 years that my kids they still went to school, but they went to school later in the day. So it was like, hey, we have a 3-hour delay. That's as much as they got. They got a 3-hour delay. And I was just like, and you expect me to come pick them up? Now, because they don't, this is the reason why they don't have buses here in North Dakota, because of when it snows like this. Now, I am a little concerned because Orion was supposed to go on a field trip, and the field trip was taking them 2 hours away, which it snows worse, I believe, in Minot than it does here. But he was going on a field trip this morning, and I'm like, I really hope they cancel this field trip because, I don't know if y'all noticed this, but it's snowing like crazy outside right now. Like, it's snowing really bad. And this morning, I had to go to the grocery store and get some stuff. And why is it every time you go to the grocery store, there's always that one person. Like, you can be in an aisle with one other person, and they're always standing right where you need to look at something. They're always, and they're staring aimlessly into the universe of the aisle. And it doesn't seem like they're doing anything besides just standing there. And you're like, I need to just get around you to grab. Like, the whole aisle is empty except for that one spot that you need to get something. And you have to, like, do some kind of matrix stuff to get what you need to get because this one person is standing there. And they look at you like, oh, did you need to get something behind me? What do I do? Do you see what I'm supposed to do? It's like, chick, if you don't get out of my goddamn way. So I'm in the aisle, and I'm like, okay, we need sides for dinner. So I'm going to run to Walmart. I'm going to go grab sides. And so I go to the freezer aisle to go get some frozen vegetables because we use, like, the Bird's Eye, like, frozen, steamed, fresh vegetables. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go over to get some vegetables. Go down the aisle, and sure enough, there's one lady chilling. Right there, just chilling in the aisle, like nobody else needs anything here. So I'm just gonna perch myself right here, and she's reading the instructions on a box. And I know she was reading the instructions because she was reading them out loud enough that I could hear her. And I was like, oh well, you know, she's trying to figure out if she can make it. I guess I don't know why would you read instructions on how to make something loud in an aisle. And she wasn't like yelling it. But she was talking as if she was talking to the box of whatever the hell she was looking at. And I was just like, I don't even know what the hell you're looking at, but I kind of want to try it. It sounds good. But, like, right behind her was, like, the steamed vegetables. And she's looking at something across the aisle. So the fact that she backed up so much, I'm like, is this necessary? Like, is this 100% necessary? I don't feel like it's 100% necessary. For those wondering, I am working on Crown Prince of Crime. It's a Diamond Art Club kit that I put away a while ago. I wanted to get some work done on it. I will be starting a new kit, but for right now, I want to work on this one. So that's what we're going to do. Anyways, so I'm standing there and she's like looking at me like as if I'm a science project or something. And she's like, did you need something? I'm like, I would like to get something out of this aisle if you would move. Like that would be great. Like you're not even looking at steamed vegetables. You're looking at pizza, like frozen pizza. And so she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's okay. I just need to get the vegetables. And I'm like squeezing. And though she's saying she's sorry, she's not moving. She's just staring at me like, oh my God. And I kind of like to think that people, when they look at me when I'm in public, they're trying to decide on whether I'm a man or a woman. Mostly because I dress in like baggy clothes. And I always have like some kind of hoodie or something or a beanie on. And so when they see me, I kind of look like a guy. Especially since I don't have the biggest boobs on the planet. So usually my shirts and stuff are baggy enough that you can't really see them that well. And so I like to assume that they're just like, is that a man or a woman? And then I talk and they're like, oh, sorry, ma'am. And I'm like, it's okay. Every once in a while, somebody will go, sir, yes. Very much not a sir. Very much have girl parts, but okay. And they're like, oh, sorry. I'm like, it's fine. It happens. And that's kind of like the life I live when I choose to wear baggy clothes. People are going to assume that I'm a guy until I talk or I say something or I go, I have boobs. Nobody ever goes to places and yells, I have boobs. I mean, you might. I'm not judging you if you do. But me personally, I'm not going out here yelling at people that I got titties. So I get the vegetables and I move along my merry way and I go get the rest of the sides. And as I'm going down this one aisle, I noticed there was this guy that he followed me 3 aisles, okay? And I don't think he was following me. He just happened to be going to every aisle that I was going to. And he was like super hyper and like nice and it was weird. And I was like, it's sad because, you know, back when I was a kid, if you saw somebody that was acting like this, you would be like, oh, they're just super nice. Nowadays, I'm like, are you on drugs? Something wrong with you? You good? Like, it's sad that you're not used to people being nice to the point where you just assume that everybody that is being nice is on some kind of a drug. So I'm sitting there and the guy's like, I go to reach for something and he reaches for it at the same time. And then he looks at me and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to grab it. I just need one of these. And he's like, oh, okay. So he hands me one. He goes, sorry about that. I'm like, it's okay. And then I just, you know, going about my merry way. And I go further up the aisle and it happens. The exact same guy. It happens again. I'm like, okay, now this is getting awkward. So I'm like, oh, geez, I'm so sorry. And he's like, it's all right. It's all right. He goes, here. And he just hands it to me and looks at me. And I'm like, okay. So then I decide, you know what? I'm going to go get, like, coffee creamer. Something that's far away from this guy. So I go to get coffee creamer. Sure enough, who's right behind me is this guy. And I'm like, at first I thought it was like a secret shopper. And if you don't know what a secret shopper is, those are loss prevention folks for, like, Walmart and stuff. And what they do is they walk around in normal clothes. And if they assume that you're stealing, they will follow you around the store just to see if they can catch you doing it. Because of course, they have to catch you doing it before they can stop you and ask you to check your pockets and stuff. So I'm sitting there and I'm just walking around and I'm like, you know, is this like a secret shopper? Is he just following me because he's weird? What is this? So I go get the creamer and stuff and he goes and gets milk. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to go to the other side of the store. So I go to the other side of the store where the craft section is, and he was gone. And I was like, oh, thank God. So I then go back over to grocery because I needed groceries. And I was like, ooh, look at this yarn. No more yarn. No, I'm not buying any more yarn. I'm not doing it. Y'all, you ever been in a craft section of a store and something just hops into your cart? And I don't mean like that you grab it and you're like, oh, this hopped into my cart. Oh, no. I mean legit hops into your cart. So I'm sitting there and the lady was stalking the aisle like with more yarn or something. And right as I go to leave, one of the items that she was putting up on the shelf fell off and landed right in my cart. And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Oh, actually, it's fine. I'll just take it because I like the color." So I did get some more yarn, but it literally jumped into my cart. Literally, it literally asked to come home with me, okay? What is Mr. Coffee gonna say? You should have told it no? No, you don't do that to craft supplies. That's rude. So I just brought it home with me and put it on the table there. No project I have will be worthy for it for at least the next couple of years. But I at least know in a couple of years, I have the yarn that is worthy enough for something. So yeah. Hi, Killian. Sorry, Killian's laying over here by me. He never lays by me. Oh, that's why, because there's a cat bed on his stuff. Hold on a second. All right, sorry about that. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right. So I go grab a couple more items that I need. And I go to leave and the guy's at the register. And I'm like, oh, God damn it. Why do this guy keeps following me? Like, I swear to God, he's like following me. And I'm thinking, okay, I have a hoodie on. I haven't put my hands in my pocket. Because there's certain protocol as a person POC that you follow when you go into stores. Or at least I do. Just to keep myself safe. And so that I don't have anything to worry about. I never put my hands in my pocket unless I'm at the register. And I pretty much keep my hands at all times where people can see them so that they don't feel that I'm threatening to them. Because not only am I POC, I'm super tall. Especially for a woman. So I tend to like go into like survival mode. For no other reason than, you know, you never know what could happen in these goddamn predicaments. So I'm just like, keep your hands where they can be seen at all times. So that they don't think you're stealing anything. Make sure you only hold one thing in your hand when you're scanning so that they can't assume that you didn't scan something. So I go up to the register and it's self-checkout now where we live. So like there's no more like employees. Like they're there in case like you need to delete something off your receipt or something. But for the most part, most of the employees are like doing other stuff in the store, like stocking and stuff like that. So I go to ring out, get all my stuff scanned, pay for it, go to leave. The guy starts to leave. And I was like, okay. Well, he stops at the door to look at his receipt. And then I see him go back into the store for something. And I was like, oh, okay, good. I can probably leave in peace now. So he goes back into the store for something. And I'm thinking, oh, it was probably just a secret shopper checking to make sure I wasn't stealing something. Didn't think anything of it. I got to go start putting stuff in the car. And I see the guy again. I'm like, oh my God. And so I immediately start getting stuff in the car faster because on top of seeing the guy again, it's snowing, it's cold, it's like 7 degrees. Our low for today is supposed to be -16. So I got to pull out the little space heater. I bought stuff to make cheddar broccoli soup because Mr. Coffee won't stop bugging me about it. So I'm like, all right. I'm going to make some cheddar broccoli soup. I'm going to make beef stew tomorrow. I'm going to make chili the day after that because it's going to be cold. So we want like food that's going to warm everybody up. Also fill everybody up. So I was like, we're just going to get this stuff. So this is going to be a soup type of week because it's so cold. It's just so cold and I hates it. So yeah, so grocery shopping this morning, that's always fun. Yesterday was a lot of fun because I had cable. Well, okay. So we called the company, the internet company, because we've been having problems with like rolling blackouts with our internet where it would just randomly shut itself off when it fucking felt like it. It was just like, I'm done. And then it would just shut itself off. And I'm like, why did the internet go out? Went and checked. And this was one of the first times I went and checked and I saw that the bill not only had not been paid, but it was a little bit past due. Like it was like a day or so past due. And I was like, oh shit, let me pay this. And I'm thinking that's their scare tactic, is that they're like flashing on our internet or something like, hey, go pay your bill. Glad they did though, because it got me to pay that damn bill. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, it was only like a day past, like a day or two past due. So it wasn't anything major. They usually give you 5 days to pay something before they start like coming after you with like the loan sharks and shit. So I was like, all right, so it's not that far past due. Plus I had to wait for Mr. Coffee to get paid anyways. So it is what it is. Usually my bills are a month ahead, but we had a really rough week there. We had a really rough time a few months ago and we're still trying to get caught up. So that month buffer that I had kind of got like messed up. So I was like, okay, well, the bill's now paid, so it should stop doing that. And again, me assuming that that's the reason it was happening. Well, the very next day, it does it again, where it just goes off. And when I say rolling time, it's because it was happening around the same time every day. And there wasn't any more activity on the internet than usual. It was the same amount. So it was me back here doing something, Mr. Coffee up front in the living room doing something, Orion in his room, and Maggie was asleep. And the internet goes out. And I'm like, what the flip? I'm like, did the internet go out for you? And he's like, yeah, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. So we call the company and let them know, hey, is there like, why, because they've been like, they have new 5G that was recently installed in the town. And so a lot of the internet companies have been doing like tests on their lines and everything. And so I was like, is there any like outages or tests going on in my area? Because we keep getting blackouts in our internet. And she's like, what do you mean by blackouts? I'm like, I don't know how to explain blackout, but it just keeps popping off around the same time every day. And she's like, let me check. She goes, your signal looks good. I'm like, yeah, because it's not doing it right now. It's not 8 o'clock. At this time, it was like 3. I'm like, I'm trying to figure out if we need a new box, because it seems like every 6 months you need a new box or something, or at least every year. And so I'm like, you know, I'm just trying to figure out if I need to get a new box or what I need to do, because this is getting kind of annoying. And she's like, oh, well, let me check it for you. And she's checking all these diagnostic things. And she's like, and I'm like, before you say it, yes, we have tried turning it off and on. We have tried unplugging it for 30 seconds and then turning it back on. It's not working. And she's like, oh, okay. Okay, let me check. And so she goes to check whatever she's checking, and she comes back and she's like, okay. So we're not sure exactly what's going on. I'm like, you know, big surprise there. And she's like, so let me send a tech out to your house. And I'm like, okay. Trying a new coffee. It's caramel vanilla. It actually tastes really good. So she's like, let's send a tech out to your house. And I'm like, all right, fine. And she goes, are you available 8 a.m. Monday? And I'm thinking, Monday. What's going on Monday? If you hear awkward pauses, because I'm vaping. And I was like, so Monday, I was like, 8 a.m.? Yeah, no, that's not happening. 1, I stream on Monday mornings. 2, the kids were home. And I'm like, I'm not waking up at 8 a.m. I'm not even waking up at 8 a.m. for the stream I'm supposed to do at 9 o'clock. I ended up pushing the stream back by an hour. You would have gotten the replay of the stream right before this went up, actually. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, yeah, no, that's not going to work for me. You got something in the afternoon? And she's like, I have a 3 o'clock. And I was like, perfect. Because I'm figured by that time I'd be done. And the kids are usually doing whatever they're doing. And it won't take them long to come in and tell me that they can't find something wrong. The service is free. So I'm like, you know, let's take advantage of that. So I was like, all right. So she sets up the appointment. And yesterday I go live. We had an amazing time. Again, thank you to those folks who come over to Twitch and hang out. I really, really appreciate it. I love, love, love going live on Twitch. It's so much freaking fun. And now that we're adding so many new cool things to Twitch, it just makes it that much more fun. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right. So I finished my stream. I'm feeling good because I've decided that I want to try to go for partner. Now, I struggled with this, and I think some of you guys can relate to this. I started Twitch about 9 months ago. I never intended on doing anything super major with it. I thought my time online would have fizzled out by now, because you know how people get super popular and then they fizzle out and you kind of forget that they're a person. I thought this would have happened to me with the crafting community. Though I don't do a lot or say anything about the crafting community because I don't really consider myself part of it, because I don't know, I just don't. It's one of those things where I never expected for anyone to come over, let alone as many of you have as I have seen over on Twitch. I've never expected anybody to come over. I expected to have like just this weird little corner of Twitch that I could go live in, and I never even intended on continuing Twitch. I was going to do it once or twice, tell Kaiju that I hated it, and then move on. Okay, because of course I have enough going on with YouTube. Do I really need Twitch on my plate as well? Apparently I did, because I kept going. So now I've made affiliate, which affiliate just means you get, you know, you can monetize your channel and, you know, make money from the ad revenue. And that's great. That's wonderful. You guys get emotes and on channel points and all this kind of fun stuff. And so, excuse me. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know, I was talking it over with one of my friends. His name is Jomio. You guys would have seen his artist highlight here on the stream. I was talking it over with my friend Jomio, and he's like, you know, have you thought about going for partner? And I'm like, everybody keeps asking me about this, but I'm not sure. Because one, I don't really, I never intended on it being a super serious thing over on Twitch. I never intended on it being super serious, and I never intended on, like, continuing to stream over there. Because I'm like, I already stream on YouTube. How much different can it be? A lot different. A lot different. So I was like, you know, I guess, like, the problem is I kind of am in this, like, imposter syndrome state right now where I don't feel like I should be trying to go for partner just because I don't feel like I deserve it. There are so many other creatives over there that bust their behind and they grind to get numbers of people to come into their streams and everything else. And I come over and my community comes over with me, and I've already hit affiliate, which I hit affiliate pretty quickly. I hit affiliate, and now it's like, okay, do I really want to go for partner? Now, partner means a little bit of extra stuff for me, but for the most part, I'm thinking about the people that watch, because I want to make their time at the coffee house there enjoyable. So, like, when I saw that you get extra emotes slots, and they get to watch the VODs a little bit longer instead of it being up for only like a week or so, they'd be up for 2 weeks, and I can assign 3 people to lifetime subscriptions. And I was like, ooh, I could make those channel point rewards. And you get channel point rewards for watching the stream. I'm like, I can make that a channel point reward where, you know, you can earn the access to a free lifetime membership to my channel and not have to pay for it anymore. So I was like, that would be something really cool that I could add on there, but I have to hit partner first. So I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, and of course, when I do stuff like this, I have to see how it affects YouTube. And for the most part, I don't think it's really affecting anything on YouTube. So it's like, you know, I don't see why I shouldn't, minus the fact that I kind of feel like I don't deserve it because I've only been on there a short period of time. And you know, I'm not the best artist. Like, I do pretty well for myself, but I'm not the best artist on there. And though they're not looking for the best artist because Twitch was more of a gaming platform before all the other categories came in, I kind of feel like I don't deserve to try for partner. And from what I hear, everybody gets rejected the first time. And then after the first time, if you try again, they'll try to accept it, possibly. And so I'm like, all right. Sorry, I'm trying to get that diamond in there. For some reason, it's too tight and doesn't want to go in there. So part of me wants to go for it. And then the other part of me is like, you need to wait. You don't deserve this. You know, build a bigger following. And my following over there is a decent size, especially for only being there for 9 months. It's not too bad. But I feel like I need to take some more time and grow the following and everything else, and maybe get the eyes of a few more folks over there. Maybe bring some more folks from over on YouTube land over there. And so I was like, I'll try for it, but then I'm also not going to try for it. So I'm not going to stress myself out going, okay, I have to have this. The only thing I need to hit partner is an average of 75 viewers talking. And that's a hard feat. Okay, that's a hard feat because it's not just one time you need this to happen. It has to happen over the course of like 3 streams. And so far, my last 2 streams hit the criteria. And I'm like, okay, but it's going to knock me back down whenever I do my stream tomorrow night, because usually my streams at night aren't the biggest. And then my gaming streams are also not the biggest. Mostly because people want to craft. They don't want to watch playing games and stuff. So, and I can understand that. It's probably not a big deal or anything. But I'm like, so I want to do another big live stream. And so, I was talking it over with my friend Jomio, and I was telling him, you know, I don't feel like I deserve it. I haven't really done anything besides bring my community to Twitch. And he's like, it's funny what people, and it's the way he said it. And he's like, it's funny what people think they deserve. And for some reason, him saying that resonated something in my brain, and I was just like, why don't you think you deserve this? I'm like, you built a following, though it wasn't on Twitch, it was on YouTube. You then brought that following to Twitch. I'm like, that's not an easy feat, especially for someone who's like me, who doesn't like change. And then you change up which platform you're going live on. And technically, I go live on both platforms. It's just YouTube, I only go live on YouTube once. And on Twitch, I go live like 5 times a week. So it's what? Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And so I decided we're gonna push for it. So we're gonna push for partner. And what that means is I just have to get an average of 75 people in my chat for the course of like 3 or 4 days. And so I was like, I can do this. So I'm going to be doing what I can to, you know, get the word out that I will be pushing for partner. Again, this means more emotes for you guys. This means a lucky 1 or 2 of you will be able to have a lifetime membership on that stream, so that when I stream, you'll never have to pay for the memberships again. It also means more emotes for everybody on the stream, so that you guys can use the emotes, and we're going to, you know, redesign some more emotes and give Roxy a little bit more flavor, because, again, Roxy's a super simple design. It was just something I made super quick. I never expected her to get popular like she is right now. So, and of course, part of that popularity is because of Diamond Art Club. And again, huge thank you to them for creating that kit. Now, I still don't know if any more kits are coming out with Diamond Art Club, but I'm pretty happy with the one that did. So if nothing else, I can always look back on it and say, I've had a kit released with Diamond Art Club. So yeah, so I've decided, yeah, we are going to push for partner, which means on Saturday, we're going to do another big live stream. Now, I have exorbitant amounts of energy. You guys already know this. With doing YouTube and Twitch and Cincy and Patreon and everything else that I do IRL. And then still being able to do and play with my kids and spend time with my husband. I have lots of energy. And so a little bit of it has been knocked out of me since I had the Rona. But for the most part, I still have a good bit of energy most days. And so I was like, why don't I... And we're not going to do it every weekend. That's just not how this can work. Every other weekend, we're going to try to do a 12-hour live stream. Right now, the only reason, if I do decide to do it, the only reason I would is to make that push for partner, because it seems like my super long streams get a lot more traffic and people than my streams that are like 3 to 4 hours long. And I'm not sure why that is, because I'm like, who's sitting there for 12 hours? Well, a lot of you did. So again, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So yeah, so there's that. So if you haven't joined us over on Twitch, please consider doing so. We do have a lot of fun. I do art. I will diamond paint, especially now that I got the better camera. I've been using my tablet as a camera, and now you can see things a lot clearer, and it's not all like foggy and weird like that other camera was that I have. That other camera I have is more so for your face, not so much for like using as for something like this. So, yeah. But it's just, we just have a really good time, and we also play games, and, yeah, so that's Twitch Matters. So we're gonna be making that push for partner. Let's do it. The Coffee Bean Nation can make this happen, and I believe in me. So we're gonna push for that. I'm also gonna go live with other creators, because for you guys to be able to meet some of these creators and ask them questions and stuff like that, I feel like That is Killian boofing in his sleep. I think he's on the floor in front of me. Okay. I'm not sure what he's streaming about, but apparently it's Happy Dreams. So yeah, so that's Twitch Matters. So any help that I can get with reaching partner is greatly appreciated. And of course, we'll do a stream where I'll take doodle requests. We'll do booty hearts, which are something that's super popular on the channel. We'll do all kinds of things. We'll figure out something nice. We'll also be probably doing giveaways for diamond paintings and stuff as well, because I have some diamond paintings that I would like to get rid of. And it's just how things can be right now. So I'm super excited for what we have in store for you over on the Twitch stream. But here in real life, let's get back to this cable guy. So I go and they sent out a cable guy yesterday. And the guy was supposed to just check the internet to see why it's been hiccuping. So he comes in. He's like, oh, it smells good in here. I'm like, oh, thank you. I hadn't put any new Scentsy warmers stuff in yet, but I had changed it out like 3 days prior. And so apparently the house still smelled good. And I was like, let's go. And y'all have to remember, I take a lot of pride in the house because of the fact that we have ferrets. And one of the #1 things that is said about ferrets is that they stink. And I've been trying to prove people wrong on that since the day I got my ferrets. Because I'm like, all animals stink if you don't properly take care of them. If you're not cleaning up after them, if you're just letting them run amok around your house, yeah, they're going to smell. Ferrets are the same way. So what I like to do before people come to the house, especially if I know they're coming, is I put the ferrets in what we call a rice bath. And all it is a container full of rice or noodles. And what happens is the rice soaks up some of the oils in their skin that make them smell. And so that when you take them out of the rice, they don't have like this weird tingy smell to them. Also, if you take them and if you clean out their litter boxes 2 to 3 times a day, they also won't smell because the stuff that's smelling is their litter box. And some of the times, the ferrets like to play in their little litter box because they like sand and stuff. They like to dig and burrow. They're in their natural habitat, they'd be digging and burrowing. So that's what they do in the freaking litter box. Especially if they don't get a lot of time out of the litter or out of their cage, or if they don't have something to dig in, they will take and dig in their litter box, which is again part of what makes them smell. So we like to give them some time in the rice bath, as I call it. And they like to roll around and they like to dig and burrow themselves into the rice and everything. And I worry about the rice getting in like their ears or something. But apparently their ear holes and stuff are too small for that. So I don't have to worry about that too much. At least that's what the vet lady told me. So yeah, so he comes in. He's talking about how good it smells in there. And he's like, are you baking something? I'm like, no. And Maggie, she comes out of nowhere like a ninja. And she's like, Mama doesn't bake. Daddy bakes. And then she just runs upstairs. And he's like, oh, hi. I was like, oh, don't worry about her. She'll just randomly run in and out. They're off of school today. He's like, oh, for President's Day. And I was like, yeah. He goes, my girlfriend is Canadian, so they have Family Day. And I'm like, that's weird. Okay. Apparently they don't have the same like holiday. Of course, because Canada, I don't think they have a prime minister. They don't have a president. I guess it's kind of the same thing. I don't freaking know. Anyways, so Maggie runs back upstairs and the guy comes out and he's like looking at the internet box and he goes, oh, you have one of these. And I'm like, what does that mean? I hate when people do that. It's like, what does that mean, sir? And he's like, I hate these boxes. They're trash. And I was like, all right. So you going to replace it? And every time they come in, they have to replace that box because it's always like, I don't know what we do to beat the crap out of an internet router, but we beat the crap out of an internet router. So he's like, well, you got some options here. And I'm like, all right. One of the options was to get rid of the cable because I tell you guys all the time, nobody in here is watching cable. But I know the moment I go to get rid of it, somebody will want to watch the cable. So I refuse to get rid of it. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. He goes, you could save a significant amount of money if you get rid of the cable. And I'm like, the problem is, I know the moment I get rid of it, somebody's going to want to freaking watch it. And Maggie, sure enough, comes, she pokes her head up pokes her head down to me from upstairs. And she's like, if you get rid of it, I can't watch Disney Channel. I was like, mother, what did I say? What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? The moment I go to get rid of it, somebody will say something about they watch it. And I just don't realize that they watch it or something. So I was like, we're not going to get rid of it as much as I would love to, because it would save us a significant amount of money on our bill. I'm like, I know the moment I get rid of it, somebody's going to come out of the woodwork saying, hey, I can't watch cable now because, you know, he goes, well, you can always go to streaming service. And I'm like, well, half the time with the amount of internet we use in this house, I don't want to have to depend on the internet because the internet gets super flaky here. And he's like, I can understand that. He goes, part of the reason why you called. So he's looking at all the stuff. And he's telling me my options, and one of them was to have, like, a cable box that's hooked up and connected through Wi-Fi, which I gotta figure out where he put it back here, because I have one back here, but I don't know where he put it. I don't know if I have a box back here now or not. I don't typically use the TV on the wall, except for when I'm streaming. Like, it's a third monitor for me, so I don't typically use it as a TV, but when I want to, I at least know it's there, just like with the internet. Let's see here. I need the letter C. But I'm not seeing the letter C. 1, 2, 3. Let's look on the legend. Number 18. And no, they're not in order. Why would they be in order? That would make sense. Oh, there it is. It's a small boy. Can I open this without breaking a nail? These Elizabeth Ward containers, where they're safe for animals and children, they suck if you have long nails. Anyways, so he gives me my options, and we decide to go with the one option where the internet box, the main box, is up front, and then it has like these little pods that you can put out, and it connects to the internet. It's kind of like a wireless extender, and it connects to the internet, and you know, you can have a box in every room if you want, which is not needed, or you can put boxes in like certain parts of the house, like back here in my craft room. Since I use a lot of internet, I would need a little bit of a boost because I'm using so much internet, and the internet box is up front in the living room. And I tried buying an extender, but it didn't work like it said it was supposed to. And then we tried buying one of those new fancy expensive routers. That didn't work like it was supposed to. Like, it kept telling me that like Twitch was a bad website, and I'm like, I'm aware of this, but I want to get on there. So I'm like, okay, we're going to try this. And so he put the little pod back here. And at first it was giving us a little hiccup trying to get it hooked up. And then we got it, and he put one in the living room. And I don't think he put any upstairs because he said with the two, my extender should reach up to Orion because of the fact that Orion's bedroom is right above my office. So that extender, the mesh, whatever, goes up. And since it goes up, it goes directly into Orion's room. And where I sit at my desk here is exactly where Orion's desk is in his room. So he should feed off of the internet that I'm putting out from right here. And then Maggie should feed off of what's being put out in the living room. So we got the little pod and everything. And he's like showing me how to use the internet and everything. And then he's like, you know, do you diamond paint? And I was like, yeah, I like diamond painting. Then he was telling me that his girlfriend diamond paints, or his fiance diamond paints. And I was like, oh, well, that's cool. And so he's like, yeah, she does all the diamond painting things. And I was like, I'm wondering, and I didn't want to be weird and be like, hey, where do you live? Because that's not, you know, creepy at all. But I've had a couple of diamond art clubs delivered to the house here before, where I've had to go hand deliver them up the street. I didn't have to. I could have just taken them back to the post office. But, like, literally, they were not even a block up the street. And I was like, I can just hand deliver these. It's no problem. So I went ahead and hand delivered them. So now I'm like, hold up, do you live in one of these houses around here? Because I've literally hand delivered, like, diamond art clubs to people. Them, of course, not knowing who I was. Because not everybody knows who I am. Not everybody watches YouTube. I mean, hell, I got people in the Crafters Anonymous group that still don't know who the hell I am. And I'm just like, you joined my group with my whole name on it. Which I need to change the banner for the group. I just thought about that. After Rachel left, I kind of gave it like just like a generic banner with the name on it. But I need to go change it to something like cute and whatever. So, yeah, we're going to do that today. That will be my project for today. I was just happy at the fact that I got to diamond paint today because I thought you guys were just going to get that replay for today. Just because it's been just such a busy morning. And I'm like, I thought I would be tired, but I went to bed at a good time. I'm starting to realize that I don't need to stay up all night. Like, I don't need all night to sit around and do stuff for myself. One of the best things I can do for myself is get some freaking sleep. So I've been trying to go to bed at a decent time. It didn't work out the other night because I stayed up too long talking to Jomeo and Shadow. And, so yeah, I've been just trying to get to bed at a good time. And I was in bed last night before 12:30. And that's the earliest I've been to bed in a while. So I was like, sweet. So we got the internet stuff hooked up. And while the guy is hooking the stuff up, though, Maggie comes out of nowhere again. Except for this time, she has on her Siren Head costume. Now, if y'all remember, like 2 years ago, Maggie went out as Siren Head. It's a game. It's a horror game. She likes the character Siren Head. Like, it's her favorite thing. And so she has the costume of it for that she was, you know, this character for Halloween. And, so, like, the guy's sitting here talking to me about, like, the internet stuff. And it's funny because the entire time he's talking to me, all I can think of is, God dang, you look like Mr. Coffee's best friend. If you guys remember Uncle Josh, he used to come into streams every once in a while. He stopped coming because his wife had a baby, and so life got super busy. So, because now they have 3 girls. Poor guy. So, yeah. He's talking to me, and then Maggie just pops out of nowhere in her Siren Head costume, like full costume. She just pops out, and she's like, how much longer is the internet going to be down? And I'm like, until he fixes it, ma'am. Ma'am, hold up. Wait, why are you in your Siren Head costume? Because I'm Siren Head. Okay. This is the type of shit that Maggie be doing, okay? This is why we can't have friends or nice things. Because Maggie chooses violence on the daily. And I'm sitting there, and the guy's like, I think he was trying not to laugh. Because she literally popped out like, I'm Batman. Like, she literally just popped out of nowhere with this damn costume on. And so I'm like, okay. Bet. Sure. Whatever. It's your world. If that's what you want to wear, whatever. And so the guy's going over more stuff with me. And then all of a sudden she comes back downstairs like 2 minutes later in her Wednesday Addams costume on top of the Siren Head costume. So she's Wednesday Siren Head. Or Siren Head Wednesday. Either way. She just kept coming downstairs in costumes. And I'm like, ma'am, could you please stop seeking attention? It's weird. And she's like, I want to watch a movie. And because I told Maggie that if she behaved while I was streaming, that we could watch a movie. Problem was, he was still hooking up the internet. So we couldn't watch a movie because he was still hooking up the internet. So I was like, Toots, you're going to have to wait for him to be done with the internet. She's like, how much longer is that going to be? Because we are supposed to watch a movie today. And I'm like, we will watch. We ended up watching like Ice Age. It seems appropriate for the day we're having today because it's freaking frosty in here. Just making sure everything's laying down nice. All right. I just like the way it feels, too. So, yeah. So, nicest tech guy. He looked like Mr. Coffee's friend. And I'm just like, if I could just have this one tech come to my house all the time, I'd be incredibly happy. He explained everything, so I understood it. He answered my questions and didn't give me weird looks when I asked him questions. He was like the nicest little tech guy. He goes to leave. And I get Daisy and them out of their crates because it's time to walk them. And Maggie's like, is the internet back on now? And I'm like, yes, ma'am. She's like, let's go watch a movie now. I'm like, I can't. I got to go walk dogs. And she goes, we're never going to watch this movie. I'm like, we will watch it when I get back, little girl. I swear, go clean up your room because it's a pigsty. So I leave out of the house with the dogs, come back, and I go, Toots, did you clean up your room? Define clean. Not have crap all over your floor. Then she goes, maybe. Ma'am, go clean up your god. What is it about her that she's allergic to cleanliness? I don't know. I don't know, and it drives me crazy because everybody else's room is clean except for hers. Right now, though, it actually is clean because she did end up cleaning it last night so that we could sit in there and watch Ice Age. So it is clean. It's just what it took to get her to that point is what's driving me nuts right now. Because I'm like, if I go tell Orion to clean his room, he goes and cleans his room. If I tell Maggie to go clean her room, Maggie has to ask you why 700 times. And then you have to play with her for 20 minutes. And then you got to go find the wizard around the corner and give him 20 pickles. Not 21, not 19, 20 pickles. Once you give him those 20 pickles, you come back home and yell at Maggie to go clean her room again. And she might or might not clean it. If she doesn't, you have to repeat that process all over again. And I feel like that's what it's like when I try to get Maggie to clean her freaking room. I literally am trying to do the impossible. And where everybody else is like, you know, just leave it. It's her room. If she wants it to look like that, let it look like that. No, that's not something that I'm doing. She's going to be a teenager here soon, and it's going to get worse. And if I don't teach her to clean now, when she gets older, she's still not going to want to freaking clean. I might finally actually be able to finish this section. I've been wanting to finish this section for the longest time. And this kit is it's pretty decent size. What size is this kit? 51 by 76. So it's a pretty decent size. It has taken me quite a while to get some work done on it, but I wasn't feeling it at first. And I'm learning that as long as I take my time, I don't have that burning desire to just throw it out the window. I really like this kit, but I think on Saturday when we do our long stream, I think Buck might stream with me. Buck is my friend. I will buck you over there. Some of y'all might know him. Some of you don't. He might stream with me for a little bit, but we're going to start off with doing a couple of hours. Like, I only did like an hour and a half or so of diamond painting last time. I think this time we're going to do a couple of hours because I'm going to pull out one of my oldest kits from Diamond Art Club and work on it. And it's the Adventures of Gumball one. I get asked more about that kit than anything else. People go back and watch my old videos and see that I have it and then start asking, can they buy it? And I'm like, look, listen, no. That kit has significant meaning in the coffee house because all of the characters that my pets are named after are in that picture. So Daisy the donkey and Anais and Gumball. We don't have a Darwin, though. We got to get a Darwin. That will probably be the next dog. We have Daisy, Achilles, Killian, and then Darwin. So I'm going to pull that kit out and work on it. I was debating on whether I wanted to or not, but I think I'm going to. And then that will be the current whip I have because I have a couple of older kits by DAC that I want to work on. Nefertiti was one of them, but then I decided against it because I was like, no, the confetti, no, I'll work on that another time. Plus, I think I actually ended up giving it to my dad because I don't even know if it's in there anymore. I don't go up into the spare room too often anymore just because I don't really need to. So yeah. So we got new internet. It seems to be working fine. It usually does when you first get it. It works fine. Let's see how it's doing in a couple of months. And like I said, I seriously think it's just the company messing with us. Like, I don't think it's anything like, you know, the internet was messed up or whatever. And he gave me the option to keep my old box since it hadn't done it in a couple of days. Like, I paid the bill Thursday, and then by yesterday it seemed fine because I was able to stream yesterday with no problem. Saturday we did have a bit of a hiccup, and I tried to export Saturday's stream over here, but unfortunately YouTube says it's too long. which is weird because they cut off the last 2 hours of it and made it into a part 2. And I've uploaded 12-hour videos here on YouTube before, and it's still telling me it's too long. So I'm going to try to probably export that over here. If I can't, it'll be, there's part of it that's highlighted over on Twitch. So yeah, I need the number 4. We got all the letter C's that I got. So now let's get the number 4. So yeah, so we got the new internet, and it's great because I can download apps now. So instead of me having to watch like Twitch on my phone or tablet when Mr. Coffee's not here, I can actually watch it on the big screen, which is really nice. And then I can just use my phone or whatever for typing into chat, like to join into chat. But it has like, it came pre-installed with Disney Plus, which was a big thing for me because I was going to get rid of Disney Plus. 1, because they keep upping the price of it. And 2, because nobody was really watching it. Now, I know, like I said, the moment I get rid of it, because that same thing that happened with Netflix. The moment I got rid of it, Mr. Coffee was like, I guess I can't watch my show anymore. What show, sir? Sir, I didn't know you were using Netflix. We got Netflix back. Guess how much he's watched Netflix? 0. Guess how much I'm paying for Netflix? Enough that I need to cancel it because nobody's freaking watching it. Huh. So there's that. I'm gonna grab this. It's taking everything inside of me to not stop talking. I'm so used to Twitch now where if I stop talking, there's just music playing. There's no music today. The only music you're hearing is the sweet, sweet sounds of Killian and the boofing. Which he's stopped now. Now he's just like snoring or something down there. But yeah, it's been a good time here in the coffee house. After the 14-hour stream, though, I fell asleep hard. And I woke up at 6 a.m. the next morning, still sitting on the couch. And I was like, okay, I need to go upstairs to bed. So I got Mr. Coffee and we went upstairs to bed. Yeah, surprisingly, Mr. Coffee woke up when I was like, hon, you want to go upstairs? And he's like, yeah. So he gets up and goes upstairs and I was like, sweet. So we go upstairs and then the next morning I wake up to Maggie 2 inches from my face going, Mommy, can I have cream of wheat for breakfast? Look, listen. What's your favorite warm breakfast? Whether it's like bacon and eggs or like an omelet or whatever. I love cream of wheat. And if that makes me old, I will be old. But cream of wheat is something I've always loved, which is weird because my dad hates it. And I'm like, hold up, you're the one that fed it to me. You can't feed me stuff you hate, sir. What the hell? But I love cream of wheat. And now Maggie has an obsession with it too. And I hate it because I can't keep it in the house because every time I turn around, she wants cream of wheat for lunch, breakfast, dinner. She gets tested on the 2nd, which is next week. I didn't realize it was next week. And then I was like, I do my normal panic of, oh my God, I have Patreon Live coming. So if you're a VIP on Patreon, we have a live on Wednesday. I got to put up the reminder today and stuff. All right, there's a black drill right here. And this is a black drill. So where are we putting this? I'll put it right there. All right. We're going to close that. And then we're going to get out that weird arrow. I think it's this one. We have a couple of these. And then we'll fill in the ones, and then we'll be done for the day. Because then I finished that section. Let's go. So yeah, so we got new internet. Mr. Coffee's liking his new job position. Again, he's still not used to the whole, he doesn't have to do manual hands-on labor. But he is enjoying the new position when he is doing stuff in that position. Like he went to one of their meetings the other day, and he's been doing like projects and stuff on the computer and making sure that everybody that calls in gets whatever it is that they need. He knows what's in stock and everything from being out on the floor and being the one that now orders the stuff that they need to make the machinery for the oil field guys. So yeah, he's liking his job position. Orion's doing okay. He's kind of battling the do I want to leave this school because people are mean here thing. And I tried telling him, you know, it's up to you initially what you want to do, because with all the racism stuff happening at school, he doesn't want to be at a school where people are that don't like him already just because he's a different color. And I'm like, technically, you're not even really a different color. You look the same, but your hair's texture is different. I'm like, but you can't run away every time there's somebody or something that doesn't like you, especially if you want to be. His thing right now is he wants to be a streamer on Twitch and YouTube. And he's had this dream for the longest time. And I'm like, dude, look, listen, if you can't handle people being mean to you at school, there's no way you're going to be able to handle people being mean to you on the internet. And he's like, are people mean to you on the internet? I'm like, sometimes. Sometimes people just don't like mommy because she has a big following and they think that they deserve the bigger following. Sometimes they just don't like mommy because of something she said or did. I'm like, but there are people on the internet that are mean to me. He's like, well, why don't you stop doing it then? I'm like, because what about the people that like me? What am I going to do about them? Do I just let them be sad because I decided to leave because a couple of people didn't like me? Or do I please the people that do like me and keep going? And he's like, keep going. I'm like, exactly. So you can't just give up on something because people don't like you, because there's always going to be a time where someone doesn't like you or something that you do. And as long as you're not hurting anyone, don't let other people's opinion of you stop you from doing what you really want to do with your life. And this school is really good for you because academically, like right now, he's doing 10th grade math. And I'm like, if you go back to the other school, they're not going to have stuff like that for you. I'm like, do you remember sitting in class being bored because you would finish before everybody else? And then you'd have to sit there and wait for everybody else to be done? I'm like, is that what you want to go back to? Because that's essentially what's going to end up happening. And I wasn't trying to scare him into saying that he wants to stay at his current school. Just making him understand that no matter where he goes, there's going to be racism, there's going to be nastiness, there's going to be people being mean. The problem is, and we figured it out the other day, it's not that these racial incidents are just like one-offs. It's not like this is like... Sorry, I'm seeing like notifications come through on my phone. It's not like he'll never have to worry about people being mean to him or whatever, because he will. And I want him to know that no matter where you go, you can't run from your problems. You want to face them head on. That way, you don't have anything to worry about, because the next time you have a problem, you're not going to be afraid to face the problem. And he's like, I understand. He goes, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm like, yeah, because you're going to always have problems, especially as an adult. And you can't just run away from your problems. The problem will still be there. It just, you won't. So you want to make sure that if you have a problem, that you face it head on. And like I said, these incidents aren't like whatever. Apparently, he's been hearing these words before and didn't realize that the word was a bad word. And so now every time he hears it, he tells on the person so that the teachers and stuff know that they're saying this word. And so I'm like, you know, unless it's being said to you, ignore it. Simply ignore. I'm like, if you hear kids saying it at a table, you can tell a teacher, of course. But for the most part, just try to ignore it. Don't talk to them. Don't say anything to them. Just ignore it. Let the teacher know, hey, by the way, these kids are saying some pretty inappropriate stuff over here. And then just keep it pushing. Like, that's all you can do. I'm like, because at this point, I don't know what else to do with the whole school thing, just because it's a great school. And he's heard these words over at the other school as well. So even if he tries to run from the fact that these people are saying this bad word, I'm like, even when you get older, you'll hear it again. And you can't just run away from it. You just have to ignore it. And so he's learning some life lessons, but he's doing well. And right now, he is off his asthma allergy meds, and he's doing great. He's not having any issues sleeping or anything. He hasn't had any issues. He hasn't so much as sneezed since we taken him off of it. So I think we made the right call there, taking him off his meds. Little Maggie Pie is doing great. She's showing no signs of anything being wrong or any signs of epilepsy or anything. So that's great. She seems to be able to focus a little bit more on things. So if I tell her to do something, she can actually focus on it a little bit more. And that's the part that is getting me right now, is the fact that I'm wondering if those meds, if one of the side effects is trouble concentrating. Because where she still has the same amount of energy, she seems to be able to concentrate on things more. Like, she colored an entire coloring page without telling me 7 times that she colored this part. It's like, look, I colored the arm. I colored the foot. I colored the head. I colored the eyes. I colored the hair. Like, she was able to complete the entire page and then go, Mom, look. I was like, oh, look at that. If you hear that chime, that's just the Ring doorbell. Somebody is walking past the door, and more likely it's because they're shoveling the sidewalk because they're trying to stay ahead of this storm that we have going on right now. We're supposed to be getting 4 feet of snow in the next 24 hours. So, yeah, they're trying to stay on top of it by shoveling the sidewalks and stuff every few hours. And I'm thinking that that's what they're doing right now. So, yeah. They did take that radon thing out of my house that they put in last week. I haven't heard anything about it, so I'm going to guess there's no mythical Mortal Kombat fighter in my house. So that's a plus. So everybody here in the coffee house is doing great. I'm doing great. We're going to make that push for partner over on Twitch. Mr. Coffee's doing great. Work's going great for him. Orion's doing great. He's still liking school and everything else. He just has to get over the hump of knowing when to just let people are going to do what they're going to do. You have no way of forcing them or making them do what you want them to do. So you just have to ignore it, fight through it, and keep pushing. I'm like, if you want to make the goals you want to make for yourself in life, if I let people stop me every time I did something that upset them, I would not be Miss Coffee right now. So you just gotta kind of, you know, pick your battles, I guess. So he's learning some life lessons, but he's doing all right, I promise. Mama gonna make sure. Plus, not only that, his school counselor does these therapy sessions, essentially, with the kids during the school year, during springtime. When they get back from spring break, they have these sessions where they all get together and talk about conflict resolution and self-esteem, and where Orion has been said to have great self-esteem, and he still lacks a little bit in the conflict resolution aspect of things. So they're going to help him with conflict resolution and stuff like that. And I think after that, I think he'll be just fine. Plus, we are going to sign him up for soccer. I was thinking about signing Maggie up for soccer, but I might sign her up for like ballet or something. I don't know. So things are going to get a little crazy here in the coffee house because we're going to get into the soccer mom extracurriculars here soon. They're at the age where they should be fine to do them. And with Maggie getting taken off her meds and Orion as well, I want them to be a little bit more active than they are here in the house. It'll give them something extra to do. And so I'm like, let's do it. So we're gonna look into that as well for the kids, just to give them a little something extra to do around here. And not that I want to do a bunch of, you know, group activities with folks around here, but it gives the kids some more socializing experience versus just sitting in the house talking to me all goddamn day. So there's that. But everybody's doing well, and we hope you are too. Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. I'm going to put the last few drills on these sections. I do need to get Killian back out to the vet, though. His face is starting to break out again, which is how I knew, another reason why I knew it was going to snow. And I'm starting to wonder if he has some kind of allergy to the cold, which would be weird for a husky, right? Because it seems like every time it gets cold is when his face starts to break out, or when we're about to get a lot of snow, his face starts to break out. And then I usually end up putting like some lotion on it just so it doesn't get chapped. He doesn't like it, but it helps his face not get chapped or be super itchy. So there's that. But Daisy's doing fine. Daisy's just Daisy. Her eye finally cleared up. So now she doesn't have that weird stuff going on in her eye. I do still have to give her the eye drops. I forgot to give them to her yesterday. So she got some this morning. Because usually she gets it at night. After everybody's eating dinner and stuff. And yesterday, Killian got sick on his zinc meds. So he's taking the day off of his meds today. Because like right as I went to go press start on my stream yesterday, he got sick. And I'm like, what the flip, yo? He hasn't gotten sick off his meds in quite some time. So the fact that he got sick, I'm like, something's going on again. Something's flaring up again. He's fine once he's on the antibiotics, but the moment he gets off the antibiotics, he gets sick again, and it's like, he's not supposed to live his entire life on antibiotics. Like, nobody is. Whatever this is not clearing up. It clears up long enough for him to take antibiotics, and as soon as the antibiotics are out of his system, he gets sick again. So we got to still figure that out. It's costing an arm and a leg, and at this point, this dude needs a GoFundMe or a job, because, oh my God, the way this is being, it's so expensive. It's so freaking expensive trying to get this dog seen, and he has to see a specialist and a dermatologist. Like, you ever taking your dog to a doggy dermatologist? Oh my God, it's redonkulous. We are going to be saving up, and I'm going to probably be doing a de-stash and everything in the next few months, because over the summer, I'm going to be taking quite a bit of a break from YouTube and Twitch. I'm going to probably be gone for about 2 weeks. We're going to be traveling to Pennsylvania to go see Minna. I'm super excited. So yeah, so there'll be a de-stash. Don't look for it anytime soon, because this is going to be happening closer towards when we leave, because we're still doing our plans on how we're doing this exactly. Also, I'm going to go get to meet one of my Twitch friends, hopefully, if I can track him down. So I'm super excited for what the future holds for the folks here at the coffee house. But the fact that you guys come back here every week to listen to these stories is greatly appreciated. I can't tell you how much your support means to me, so thank you so much. And on your way out, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button so YouTube knows to put me back in the algorithm, I'd greatly appreciate it. So, with that said, let's put this last drill in here if it wants to lay down correctly. We have completed that section. Let's put that back in there. Put that back in there. Okay. There we go. Some of them it spilled out because I didn't close the container. I really should use the funnel for this so I don't have the, like, I get a spasm or something and just spill drills everywhere. That's happened before. Like, you ever have a muscle spasm and throw your drill? You're just like, what? It's only happened once, but it sucks when it happens. So. And that's the last drill for that section. Let's go. All right, so that section is complete. Thank you guys so much for helping me get through that section. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, whatever day you're watching this. And until next time, you guys stay safe out here in these crafty streets. Please remember to wear a mask, wash your hands, don't touch your face in public because that's kind of gross. Keep your 6 feet and always try to remember to be kind to others because you never know what somebody else is going through. Be courteous because it's the right thing to do and always stay cool. Bye, guys.